People, the Purple Butterfly here, otherwise known as People on Twitter and YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My blog is located at purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com. My Purple Butterfly Soaps can be located at people.etsy.com, and my t-shirt designs, purplebutterfly-people.tmail.com. And yesterday I made a soap called 7-Up Pound Cake. Is just like the other 7-Up pound cakes I've made in the past, except for this time I used a piping bag and decorated the top instead of frosting it and adding glitter. And that brings me to another thing I need to talk to you about. When you can't find your piping bag, this stuff works good in a pinch. But if you're going to get something like this, these are very, very small. And the coupler is missing, you know, where you're supposed to screw it on. So if you use this without a coupler, remember to get the piping tip out of there. Just literally cut it off of the bag and then put the whole thing in your wash bucket, because otherwise you're going to lose that tip. I need to replace the one I had that's made of stainless steel, so forth and so on. It had a coupler that was anchored inside the bag, so it never got lost. My son brought me this and the tips, and I appreciate it. You know, it beats a blank, but this is a 12-ounce bag, a 12-inch bag. So when you go to pipe, literally I had to use 2 of them. And that made things take a little bit longer instead of, you know, standard 18-inch bag that you get from Wilton or other places that sell piping bags. But like I said, in a pinch, it beats a blank. If you are new to piping and you're not piping a lot, then this would be fine. If you're piping frosting where you don't have to worry about caustic consequences, it's fine. But if you're piping soap, raw soap to be specific, you want a bag that's as big as possible, so that way you don't have to worry about getting it on your hands or whatever, because soap in this raw state will burn you. In the meantime, I said all that to say this. 7-Up Pound Cake is a vanilla-based soap, fragrance oil. It will turn your soap brown, various shades of brown. I mean, I've had 7-Up Pound Cake that be anywhere from a very, very light tan, almost a cake yellow, to a dark brown, and that's fine. Now, what I'm going to do, also, what I did, I took and put a couple of little pieces of plastic there to extend, so that way it will, that way when I was piping it, it didn't get all over my mold or stuck to the sides, because, you know, the silicone part is down there, and then you have the wooden frame. And as you can tell, the soap rises up quite a bit from the edge. So that's when I got one of these and stuck it on the sides. So that way when I went to pipe, I didn't have to worry about it making a mess. Now all we gotta do is get this out of here. So let me turn this around. Now here's the thing about piping and getting the high top soap out of your mold. Just literally lift all the edges. So that way you could break the seal, because you don't want to, you know, squish. And you could just literally Put your finger there where you lifted the edges. And put your finger here. And then just push it down the center. That breaks the seal. And then it'll come right off of there. See how that's done? Now, if you notice, it's beige. It's going to actually get darker. But in the meantime, I'm finna line it up here. Actually, I'm going to turn it sideways. Then line it up. That way I don't squish my top. And here we go. I didn't have to use any colorants on this because the fragrance oil is going to discolor the soap to a nice tan or brown. You can see how light it is, but you can still clearly see that compared to the titanium dioxide, which is pure white, it definitely looks like a cake. If it gets darker than this, that's fine. If not, it still looks like a cake, which is the go. Give me 1 second. I need to get a paper towel. And as you can tell, they all look the same. So basically, there's nothing to see here except for the beautiful piping design. Isn't that cute? That teeny piping bag and the teeny tips made life difficult, but you still get a product that looks like that. So it's okay. I'm still going to go and replace it with, you know, the bigger bag in the set that I had, but still. It's all good. I mean, like I said, it beats a blank. That smells amazing. Oh, and just because somebody might be curious to know, where you see white, the titanium dioxide, there's no scent here. Basically, I made a 4-pound batch. I poured 2 cups of it off, which is 18 ounces. I scented the remainder of the base, poured it into my mold. It came literally to the very top of the mold. Literally came to the very top of the mold. Then I put a, where'd it go? I put a clothespin. Well, actually, I set up the bag, put the tip in. Then I put a clothespin where the base of the bag was, where the tip goes. So that way, when I poured, and I beat the rest of the batter to a very, very thick trace. Then I poured it in there. Well, actually, let me show you what I did. I put it over there. Okay, it was in one of these. I put a paper clip, clothespin over the tip, put the bag in here so that way it couldn't go nowhere, poured the very thick batter into the piping bag so that way it couldn't escape. If it leaked, it was in something that would catch it. And I let it set up. So, you know, that way when it was ready to go, all I had to do was remove the paper clip, keep calling it paper clip, clothespin. If it started to leak, that means it wasn't, you know, ready. I waited till it was completely ready to go. Then I removed the clothespin, slid the contents of the bag down, and then piped it. But there was no scent in the piping. That way I didn't have to worry about it, you know, discoloring to a beige or a brown or a tan or whatever the rest of it is going to do. That smells great. And that gives you something that looks like that. Since the tip was so small, I didn't want to do anything fancy like rosettes or whatever. I just wanted to, get a couple of, dollops on there. Mostly it all started out looking like this. But the tip was so small, like I said, my hands started cramping. So basically, I just did the get in where you fit in thing, and that worked out. And this is the only piece of overflow that's left over. I'm getting much better at centering this on the cutter, so instead of a sliver on each side, that's all I have left over. So everything else is a usable product, and this is a sample we could put in the bathroom. Yeah. Anyway, this has been People of 7 on Twitter and YouTube, People elsewhere on the internet. My blog is located at PurpleButterfly-People.blogspot.com. I swear I'm going to update that thing soon. My soaps, Purple Butterfly Soaps, can be located at people.etsy.com, and my t-shirt designs, purplebutterfly-people.tmail.com. Y'all stay blessed and stay tuned. Yep. Now let me take you on a journey and show you what we got. Aren't those gorgeous? Yeah. And they're going to get darker. If they stay at this level, I'm still fine with that. But because it's vanilla base, and it just got exposed to air because I cut it, it's definitely going to get darker. That's why if you look at the edges, you can see where it's starting to get darker. Hold on. You see that? You can see the very edges. You can see where it's starting to get darker. And it might take a couple of days, but it's like right on the edge. And that's fine. Anyway, this has been People of 7. I'll talk to you later. Bye now.